the house. Frank, can you read the first paragraph of that news story right there?
Sure.
That is on the very front page of the Hammond Times, along with a large photo.
More bones are found in dirt pile at Oak Hill.
Now, the Oak Hill Cemetery is in Hammond at what, Holman and
165th.
165th. And that was a private cemetery.
Correct.
But evidently there's some laws that if a cemetery is not being taken care of and
Not maintained properly.
that you got to take it over. So you've taken this baby over, and I know your guys have been out there and are working, and I've seen them. And you guys are cleaning it up. It's a historical cemetery. But some really scary things you've been finding these bones in the last few days. Tell us about it.
Well, on Sunday, I got a call from the Hammond Police Department, and they had notified me that they thought a person who was driving by identified some human remains, which, that is a very good eye. So on the southeast corner of the Oak Hill Cemetery, there was some dirt that the prior administration had excavated. So two guys who were working maintenance basically flattened out some dirt. That dirt came from what they call spoils. So when you dig a grave, there's leftover dirt. That dirt was basically stockpiled in the southeast corner of the cemetery. So what happened is they excavated that, and they basically spread a body out about 40 yards. So the Hammond PD and Lake County Coroner's Office and myself, we found a skull, a jawbone, a pelvic bone, a leg, what appeared to be a leg bone, and a hip bone. So 5 bones. And they came out, and by chance, from IUPUI of Indianapolis, there was a forensic anthropologist who identifies bones, and he was able to determine that the person had been dead a very, very long time, and it was a female, and it had the signs of someone who was buried and resembled that of, digging up a grave. So those are still at the Lake County Coroner's Office. Then we were out there, and I determined that it probably would be best, since we are in a legal limbo. We've taken over the maintenance, but they haven't signed over the operations and the property to us, and that should happen at any time. The owner, Mrs. O'Rourke, who lives in Michigan, whose husband owned it but passed away, is an absentee owner, and she has agreed to sign it over to us. And prior to me signing any papers or becoming, legally responsible for that, we wanted to thoroughly go through the dirt piles that were excavated and the stockpile, and that's what we did yesterday. And we found, I believe, 4 more bones, which is in the paper. A leg bone, one of our workfare individuals found that, and then we found a forearm bone and another small hip bone. So those types of things, they aren't fun, and there's no joy in that, but it's a matter of due diligence. You want to make sure that you don't have, is it Burr Ridge? The Burr Oak in Illinois. You don't want to have one of those situations where the township takes over something and you open up a Pandora's box and there's a lot of criminal activity. What I think this was negligence and carelessness, when they dug a grave, since it goes back to 1865, they actually captured some of the another casket or a burial. And so we will continue. We have probably about 2 days more work to go through those dirt piles, and we will continue to do that.
So I guess that's the crux of the situation. People want to know that in your mind it's not a Burr Oak situation.
Correct, and that's what the township office and our staff and the Hammond Police Department and the Lake County Coroner is basically crossing off the list and making sure that we do our due diligence that is not the case. But as far as law enforcement, they are endorsing the theory that it was just carelessness more than
we were just
criminal
talking about
activity.
the non-Burr Oak situation over here in Hammond, where Frank takes over a cemetery, and they're finding some random bones. I think originally the fear was that you were going to find all sorts of bodies just thrown around, as it was with Burr Oak. That is not the case as of now. So it's on the front page of the Times. You see the guy holding the femur.
Correct.
And it's a great photo, and it's just astounding. But it seems to be a kind of a random situation and not widespread
Correct.
at this point.